live. We just throw Trent down in the corner. Sorry about that, Trent, mate. We've literally just gone live. How is everyone? Welcome. Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 3 in the Unmasking McKamey saga. McKamey. I'm never going to fucking say it right. I'm probably going to call Ross fucking a lot this evening. So it's just the way it is. But listen, thank you everyone for joining us. We have, of course, we've got some guests this evening. Holly will be returning tonight. But Trent has made it. Anthony's made it. Of course, we're here with Matty and myself, Ron. I will apologize. I'm fucking exhausted, right? I have had one of the most insane fucking days. This is turning into one of the most insane weeks. I will say this evening we have Holly coming on. We've got Amy Lee. We've got Trent. We've got Christina Buster. I can't read my own handwriting. I can just read it off the screen right there. Yeah, Christina Buster. I got it right. I know what I'm talking about. We might have a couple of people rotating in and out, but we do have Shrek and Fiona. Okay, they're going to be coming on for a little chat. Holy fucking shit! The moth just fucking, or a fly or some shit just flew past fucking my head. Yeah. I mean, I'm running on fucking caffeine. Okay, I'm running on caffeine.
What should you be drinking for that?
What I should be drinking for that? Razor wire. Links in the description. We'll get there. Okay, Christina has made it. I'm just going to throw Christina in. How are you, Christina? Welcome to the panel. I'm sorry to just throw you into the group live like this. But just if you need a moment to get your stuff ready, it's all good. We'll slowly start getting through everything. And once Holly joins us too, and Amy will be on full rotation. So what I think I'd like to do is, I think it would be really interesting if we all just sort of take a minute and we can all introduce the new panel members. Take a couple of minutes, introduce yourselves, and then we'll just start going with everyone's stories, because I don't think anyone needs to hear Ron talking a lot of crap. They just want to get into the meat. So if we do this, or is this the best one, or this one? This one. All right. Okay, I'm just going to go in order. In fact, no, we'll go ladies first. Christina Buster, welcome to the panel. Thank you so much. And also, I want to apologize to everyone who's had to deal with me using Facebook. Right, I never use Facebook, and a lot of you, I can feel you going, why is this guy not just adding people? Why aren't you just finding these people? It's just a nightmare. So, Christina, thank you for putting up with that for a start, and thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how you fit into this epic saga.
Well, actually, I'm sick, so I'm like working off a flu right now.
Well, I do apologize. Thank you for still joining us. It's one of those things. I think everybody's just going to rally from their goddamn deathbed, I think, to have their say on this topic, to be perfectly honest.
I came in contact with Russ McKamey back in 2014, and that was my first tour that I took, and I actually flew in from Kuwait to take it. And then I came back in 2015.
You say that?
Yeah, and then came back in 2015 and did it again. And then I came back a third time and did it in 2016. And really did not have a problem with Russ until after 2016. And there were some issues that came up and kind of made my tour personal. And this is where this whole entire issue, and I've been kind of silent for 3 years. I've been under the radar, and I'm kind of tired of his bullshit, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, Christina, what we'll do is we'll get everyone else introduced and we'll just rally right back to you, because I feel like you're about ready to punch your fucking computer in the face with your sort of 10-upness for this. I feel it. So we'll be coming back to you right away. But Anthony, welcome. What is happening? And just want to say thank you very much for joining us. Anthony is going to introduce himself, and he's an interesting character, I have to say, for a part in the show later. So just introduce yourself, sir, and thank you for joining us.
All right, my name is Anthony Silvis. Myself and my family, we operate what we like to call an extreme terror experience called K to Silvis. We don't call it a haunted house because that's not what it is. We all have backgrounds in the traditional haunted house walkthrough business. I've been in it for 30 years, doing traditional haunted houses, set designs, everything from building shit to teaching young kids how to be scare actors. The whole family is involved in the haunted house building business. We operate the longest running haunted attraction in Nashville, possibly all of Tennessee. So that's my background.
God damn. So you can say you're a tad of an expert on the
yes,
subject.
I am absolutely an expert on the haunted attractions business.
Scaring the shit out of the public. You're the guy to come to. This is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And is there any conspiracy series surrounding your attraction? Is there any, mass waves of insanity that follows Russ that seems to any of that connection to you? I mean, is it every haunt, or is it just Russ that creates?
It's just Russ.
What a surprise! Did anyone else think there was going to be any other fucking answer than that? The guy's a fucking Fruit Loop. So carry on, Anthony. Tell us more, because 30 years experience and your whole family doing it, that is by far the coolest family business that I've heard of on this channel.
Right.
So that's amazing. We're going to play
now to make things clear. I want to clarify this. We do not own the slaughterhouse, but we are the ones that keep the doors open.
Okay. I don't know what that is. So for the people out there that don't know what the slaughterhouse is, just fire a little bit of information.
The slaughterhouse, you can look it up on the web. It's if you go to fullmooncineplex.com or look up Nashville Slaughterhouse. It is a traditional haunted attraction in an old movie theater. Okay. Inside the building is also a tattoo shop where we get most of our tattoo work done, like right here.
That's pretty cool.
And it is also a movie theater.
All right.
We have it all under one roof. And we operate during the traditional haunted house season. We also put on a tattoo and horror festival in the spring. We'll be doing that Easter weekend this coming spring. I've been doing this stuff since 1989. We are the longest running haunted attraction in Nashville, possibly the state of Tennessee, but I can't verify that.
Well, listen, I think we all look forward to hearing more about that when we come back round just shortly. And someone else that's here with us, of course, down there, Superman up to the max, Mr. Trent. I just want to say as well, everyone involved in this, right, has like the craziest bunch of names. Like, you all sound like a 1960s detective novel character that are playing out. You know what I mean? Trent McConnell. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm goddamn Detective Trent McConnell. Do you know what I'm saying? That is a straight up like TV detective name, brother. So welcome. Tell us how you fit into all of this.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You might need to speak up a little bit, but yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Right on. What's up, Anthony?
Right
What's up? Where do you want me to start, Ryan?
If you just introduce yourself, brother, and give us a sort of couple of minutes of where you fit in, and then we'll circle back round for the meat of your tale, shall we say?
Yeah, man, gotcha, man. Well, anyway, I'm Trent McConnell. I have been here. I'm a local here, and I started following the Manor and stuff about. Oh man. Right before he came to Tennessee, and got to know him, man. Got to watching his videos, watching his stuff on Saturdays. It was like watching football. I mean, all this silly Saturday shit we watched. And there was some talk about his sign that got stolen. And, my kids. I got kids here, and they were watching some of the Saturday stuff. I was really into it, and I didn't really I didn't let them watch the graphic stuff. I let them watch the crazy stuff in the front yard, all that stuff. And I kind of, the other stuff I would watch at night, and when they weren't around. And anyway, we got pretty much sucked up into it. after
You're breaking up. You're breaking
pretty
up
much
a little
just
bit. You're
watching.
breaking up a little bit, Trent. Yeah, you're breaking up a
let me,
little bit.
let me
Do you have a headset by anything, or with an external mic you can use? I just want to say as well, a big thanks out to JBD Canon Man 73 for that $2 super chat. Thank you very much, and a big welcome to Holly. Thank you for coming back and joining us, Holly. You're looking awesome. So thank you for coming in.
Hi,
Hi.
Holly.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very
Glad to have
listen.
you back, man.
You are super welcome, and I hope that since you touched base with us, everything's been good, and you feel like everything is heading in a positive directions. And
All I have to say is, ding dong, the witch is almost gone.
yeah,
Yes.
and that's awesome. I mean, that's what we want to hear. And I don't know, there was something posted earlier today. Let me just have a little look here. Yeah, 1 second. Let me just move this over this side so that we don't get that crazy screen. So I've seen this today. I don't know if it's 100% true or what's going on. I mean, I'm sure you guys will know more than me, but I mean, Ross just announced that he is temporarily out of business. Laugh out loud.
Wow.
So
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes, Holly.
Hallelujah.
like,
Hallelujah.
now, what I'm going to do
Yes.
is I'm just going to cut back for 1 second, and I'm going to just put up the second image that goes along with that. Just give me one moment. Okay, and then back over here. And yeah, this was the one that went with it. So just so you guys can see it all here.
Grab her and take her downstairs now.
So yeah, it looks like there's some progress made on no one else having to endure the madness that many of you have gone through. And
Hallelujah. Oh my gosh.
This
Anthony,
is great stuff, Holly.
Anthony,
Ron,
Anthony, you were saying that you'd seen a video on this, right?
Yeah, I saw the live video, and
Okay.
I haven't seen Holly in a long time, but it's good to see that she's okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Anthony.
I'm really glad that it's a positive panel. Everyone's. I swear to God, Christina, I swear. Thank you for being here. You, honestly, I know you're ill. So what I want to do is just for the sake of Christina and being ill. She's the only one with a blanket, right? So we know she's ill. Okay. So I'm just going to just circle straight back around to her. I do apologize. It's fireworks night here. It's fireworks night here tonight, and there's fireworks going off, even though it's 2 o'clock in the morning. This is Scotland, so the dog is going to freak out from time to time, and the house is still fusing, so that might happen as well. But we all know what we're doing. Stealth herself. Does Russ accept donations to avoid paying taxes for his business income? That's an interesting one. That's another one for the Small Business Association lawyer team that we're putting together, which we'll talk about at some point. Did they break bones, teeth? What was the worst? Does anybody want to just quickly answer that for name change? Was there any bones broken and teeth? Was there anything worse than that went on?
I personally had no broken bones or anything of that nature.
No, okay. No. From what I heard on a video I was sent today, at one point he was planning a live stream with a hypnotized girl where he was going to allow his audience to choose an instrument that he was going to shove through one of her limbs. Fun! So that's going to be talked about on the channel as well, so don't worry about that. But I just want to say a big thank you to Name Change and Stealth herself. Yeah, does Ross accept donations as a way to avoid paying tax and business income? That's a really good question. True Love, you've joined us down in the little bit down there. Don't worry, we'll need to rotate you in, but we'll get there. So, just for the sake of this poor lady's health, we're going to just throw Christina in to tell her story. Christina, I'm going to make you full screen for you to tell your story. So I hope you're okay with that. If you've got any issues with the stream or anything like that, just let me know. So everybody, just welcome Christina, and we will circle back to everybody. Everyone is going to get time to tell their story. We'll try and keep it maybe 2.5 hours max tonight, just because Ron needs to, like, I need to sleep at some point. Sleeps for the week, Ron. I know, Ron. Right, Christina, here we go. Welcome to the chat. I'm just gonna. There's a couple of people whose mics are open. I think it's Trent. I'm just gonna mute your mic for a second, Trent, until I figure out which one of you is making that weird sound. There we go. It was you, Trent. It's just feedback from your phone, mate. Don't stress about it. And Christina, the floor is yours.
My name's Christina Buster. I actually went through the manor. I'm sorry for my head's a little bit stuffed up. I'm on the couch with the flu, wrapped up in a blanket. So kind of like where my story begins with Russ, is I went through the manor in 2014, came from Kuwait, flew and took a tour, and then I went back in 2015. And a lot of people in the video see my hair getting cut and all this crazy stuff going on, and see that I was highly upset about getting my hair cut. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I was upset, but it didn't deter me from not coming back.
Okay.
And I did not have issues with Russ until 2016. And where this all started from, and I've been quiet for the last 3 years, and I've been dormant, but I have been in the background watching his craziness, his antics, and everything else, and slandering me. And I've just basically had enough of his bullshit, in so many words.
Well, it sounds like, and it seems like it seems like the same story on repeat with people. There's pressing, bullying, and slanderous behavior. It's ridiculous. So
I've gone on with my life, but I'm going to answer questions for people, because people want to be sipping his Kool-Aid, and they're going to hear it straight from me, straight from the horse's mouth. Now, back in 2016, where all this crap started, was that he had an issue with an ex-actor by the name of Dakota that used to work with him. That is in my video back in 2015. He's one of the actors, and at the end of the video, I'm sitting on the couch with him. Okay. So Russ had a disagreement with him, left him at a bus station out in no man's land, out in New Mexico, I believe it was. So the actor called me asking for help. And I'm one of those people that I will give the shirt off my own back to somebody that needs it more than I do.
Yeah.
So I helped this person get home. Now, there were accusations that Russ made that this ex-actor did. And I'm not going to bring his name into this video and everything else, because it's disrespectful to that person without asking him first to bring his name into it.
Of course, yeah, I agree.
So there were accusations that were made by Russ that he did some stuff while he was living in the house against Carol. I wasn't there. I know nothing about it. So it's two people's stories.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with me at all. That is between Russ, that individual, and Carol. So anyhow, I became friends with this individual after helping them. And back in 2016, the person decided he dropped me off at my tour, the one that Russ had an issue with.
Okay.
My tour became personal, and Russ made my tour personal. And here there was either people that were videotaping, or they were from a magazine on the day of my tour.
Okay.
My daughter was there, and he made some comments to my daughter that made my daughter feel very goddamn uncomfortable during the contract signing. And
what made your daughter feel uncomfortable?
This is going back 3 years ago, so to remember the exact comments,
Okay.
I don't know the exact comments, to be
Okay,
honest.
well, paraphrasing when we know that you're paraphrasing that's okay. That's legally all right to say this is how you remember something, but it could be slightly different.
Correct. So the people there in the background that are either that are witnessing this from the magazine or from the video studios that are taping this show are in the background and asking like, what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? And why is he acting this way? After the contract signing was done, the tour started. Now, my problem with and why I called quits is because there was a comment made while I was in the van, and the comment was made, what kind of mother are you to pimp out your daughter?
That's what
I
they said.
have a very big issue with that. When you bring my daughter into my tour, when you're making my tour goddamn personal because you have an issue with an ex actor.
Okay.
Then I was given a subject.
Just 1 second, Christina. So you and this the one that shall not be named, you helped him out. Something happened in your house, the accusations or
Well,
something.
it happened in Russ and Carol's house when he
Russ
was
and Carol's
living
house.
with him.
Okay. Then you went to your haunt because of these accusations. Russ made it up, wanted to teach you a lesson or something. Is that what you're saying?
I presume so. That's what
Okay.
it was. But whatever feelings he had towards this ex-actor, don't bring your bullshit into my tour and make my tour personal against me because of that. And that's where my issue lies with Russ and the comment that was made. You don't do that. That's disrespectful to my child.
Hell yeah, it's disrespectful.
And I'm not going to tolerate that. And it's kind of like a mama cut.
Hey, listen, I'm a parent too.
That when you're protecting your children.
I get it. I 100% get it.
So
when you went to your haunt, and obviously there was issues with family members being there and weird, hideous things being said, your daughter's being made to feel uncomfortable, and obviously you now know you've got to go into this haunt, leaving her outside, right?
Right. She was outside with the person that dropped me off, with the ex-actor that he did not like.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we're up to date. So when you tell us what happened next. Like, what happened on the way in? Was like, were they heavy-handed with you? What was the next move from Russ?
Well, throw it in the van.
Okay.
And the next step is I do remember some bits and pieces of it, but one of the bits and pieces that I do remember, besides that comment being made, is I was given a liquid. Now, during this liquid that I was given, there's a period that I don't remember what happened in that van. To me, that's goddamn scary.
That is scary. And do you know if that's ever happened to anybody else?
I have no idea if it's ever happened to anybody else, to be honest. But when my tour was over and I got out of the van, was dragged out of the van after I had already tapped out inside the van, I was soaking wet. Now I know I believe there was a cooler full of water in the back of that van.
Okay.
Now, how the hell I got put in it, I wasn't coherent when it happened, because I would remember something like that, because that's freezing cold water.
Well, there's a multitude of drugs that you can be given orally that'll create temporary amnesia. You can be 100% coherent and look like you're on nothing. And there's a multitude of, one thing that springs to mind that's a bit excessive of a suggestion, but scopamine is a powder that you blow in someone's face or you mix it up in a drink. And there's people that have emptied the entire contents of their house into a van on this stuff and have no memory of it. Like, no memory. So there's substances out there that you can be completely enslaved mentally and be told to do things, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm sorry if that scares you, but I'm just hitting you with the facts, because if you think that if you're given something, you're effectively sleepy or lying on the floor or like a dead weight. That's not the case.
And then after that situation, after I had already called the safe word,
Yeah.
because I had enough of after the comment that was made about my daughter.
Yeah.
I should have just been let out of the van. I was dragged across asphalt in a parking lot. After my tour was already over, I was pushed in damn shrubbery after my tour was over. I should have never have been manhandled. I should have never have been touched anymore after I said the safe word.
Correct.
And that is my other issue that I have with Russ. One of the other issues. And then after it was over, the people that were doing the witnessing the contract signing, they're the ones that gave me water. I sat in their car, are the ones that sat there to make sure I was okay. Russ didn't even make sure I was okay. Russ didn't do shit.
So yeah, total
That's
lack of
why I know
aftercare.
He made my tour personal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't right.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty shocking. And I mean, for me, like I say, I'm coming in to this whole story late, and it's hard to hear a lot of this, especially when it gets to the physical side of all of it. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many times to just keep referring to this guy as a lunatic, and the fact that his business practices seem to be more the sort of thing that you would expect from a sideshow that is just it's all very unprofessional. It's very disappointing for anyone, I would imagine, especially because a lot of people, there's a lot of time they build up the myth of the manor, the myth of Russ, and it just ends up being a huge disappointment, right? But since you started, Christina, Amy's come into the chat, Holly's dropped out. I don't know if she's trying to get back on. So if I have
more to tell you too. That just wasn't all of it.
Yeah, keep going, Christina. Just make sure you get your side.
So after the end of it, back in 2016, he decided to kept on slandering my name, saying that I'm going ahead and I'm filing legal actions against him. Now, if anybody has a goddamn brain that's listening to this chat, and all they have to do is go to the county of San Diego, California. Any kind of information like that is considered public records.
Okay.
So all you have to do is type in, is there any lawsuits against Russ McCaney for 2014? You'll not find anything with my name on it. You type in for 2015, 2016, or up to present. There is nothing.
Okay.
And also Dick Cheney, which is a very active person that is against McCaney Manor, made a live video back in 2016 with me in it, and he actually popped up the county of San Diego public records and typed in to see if there was any cases that I had filed against Russ McCaney. There was 0 records found. Anybody that's watching this video can go do that and go research for themselves. So Russ, you need to knock off your bullshit and stop feeding these people that I filed a lawsuit against you, because I don't have the time. I don't have the effort to do it, and it needs to stop. And this crap's been going on for 3 years. And now everybody has directly heard it from me. No, there's no lawsuit that I have filed against McCaney Manor.
Okay, well, that at least clears up that for anybody who has been throwing that around, Christina, for sure.
And do I really hate Russ? No, I don't care what happens to Russ, to be honest. I've gone on with my life. So he needs to stop with the craziness of that too.
Just keep going, Christina.
And all this other accusations that are made that I've been in hate groups. Yeah, I've been in hate groups, but if you ask the people in these hate groups, do they ever see me comment or do they even see me get really involved? No, I really don't get involved unless somebody mentions me in a tag and then I'll respond to it. Other than that, I've gone on with my life. Would I recommend the McCaney Manor for anybody? Each year is their own. I personally wouldn't do it because there are such other good haunts out there, like Silvis is one of them. The Fear Experiment is one of the guys that run it is called Timothy Grinder. He's one of the partners in it, and that's actually a really good, excellent haunt to go to.
If anyone wants to reach out to any of these people as well, I was saying this to Anthony earlier. I want to get as many good recommended haunts on here to rub Russ's face in it as we possibly can. Like if we can promote legitimate haunts along the way, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm not cutting away from you. I'm just adding everyone back into the stream, so just bear with me. Trent, we're coming back to you. Don't worry. I'm just going to introduce Amy very, very quickly. What is happening?
Hey guys,
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just introduce yourself very quickly, Amy, and we will be coming back to you. I just don't want people to not know you're here. And just, introduce yourself. Just give us a quick rundown on who you are.
Of course. Hey, everybody. Everybody knows me as the #1 hater, the first outcoming person to go forward with this. I was introduced to McCaney Manor by my sister in October of 2014. I think it was right before Christina Buster took her first tour. And then 6 weeks later, I was taking the tour, the torture tour.
Oh, the tour! That sounds like a barrel of laughs. A barrel of laughs.
Yeah. So, and then I've moved on with my life. I only chime in when it's needed be to set people straight on what's really fucking going on over there. Oops, sorry.
Listen. You don't have to worry about the swears. Okay, this is
Right.
from Scotland. Listen.
I think we've already been hit with age restrictions. So.
Yeah, listen.
Right.
They literally, as soon as my face appears, they just hit me with just like age restricted. It's not happening. But listen, we will cut back to everybody. I just want to make sure Christina gets time to tell her story. I'm sorry, everyone, that you're sitting waiting. It's just the way that things are, the way they're happening. So just bear with me, okay? And we will get round to everyone. So, Christina, please do just continue.
That's pretty much the end of my story. I mean, if anybody has any questions to ask me that's like listening, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Sure.
But I'm not on here to bash people. I'm really not.
I just want to say as well, towards the end of this series of live streams, I will have a massive Q&A live. So on my Discord right now, there's a little room where you can post questions for the live stream. So if anyone is out there and wants to do that, we will do a big Q&A towards the end of the series. And yeah, so listen, Christina, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. I know a lot of people were spamming my DMs to make sure you got on to have your say. If throughout any of this, if you think of anything else that you forgot or you want to talk to me in the DMs about stuff for the videos that we're doing, because we're going to have this live series, and then I'm going to do a couple of videos that are a bit more of a mainstream watch, if you know what I mean. It will be more of a entertaining movie to watch rather than a bunch of boxes and us all having a good old rant. So if there's anything that you can think of that you want to have added into that, if you want to do interviews or anything like that, 100% down. So yeah, awesome. And just before we move on, I just want to give just once again a big thank you, and just again thank you to everyone who is watching. I know there's a lot of you out there, 331 of you is all here, and there's a lot of positivity towards everyone as per usual. So thank you everyone for keeping that up. But Holly, just circle back to yourself just for a couple of minutes. Just how have you been over the last couple of days? You're looking a lot more relaxed this evening, I have to say. And I know everyone just was throwing praise up at you for last night. So thank you very much for joining us again. Is there
You're
anything,
welcome.
anything that you want to chime in as we're going through this? Just feel free to do so. That goes for anybody as well. Don't feel like you can't just have a say in between people's stories, because if this chat as well, if we get past the 2.5 hour mark on this, I have got a plan where if there's a need for it to go longer, it can, and I'll explain that to you towards the end. So just a lot of people want to say a lot of things. We're going to get through everyone. So is anybody got anything else they want to touch on before we jump to the next person? Has anybody got anything they want to add on to Christina's story, or is there anything anyone would like to just touch on just now, or are you quite happy for me to just go into the next part of the next person's part of the tale, shall we say?
Yeah, I could probably add a little bit to that. And Holly can probably verify some of this.
Okay, let's do it.
Because Holly was with Russ during our whole time working with Russ.
Okay.
Yes.
When Russ and Holly moved to Tennessee, I got a phone call saying, hey, you want to come help him unload his trucks and move into his house. So we showed up, 2-3 carloads of us.
She's just refreshing her page, by the way.
That's okay.
And anyway, as we got into doing the shows under the banner of McCamey Manor Presents Kate Silvis, we were given a list of people we were told to try to convince to come to the shows. Christina Buster was one of them. Lori Brotherton was another one, and there was some more people who I don't remember who they were. Basically, so Russ could get revenge on them. He wanted us to basically mislead them to thinking it was going to be a Kate Silvis show, but Russ was going to trap them. Somehow, I don't remember a lot of the details, but Christina Buster was one of them, and so was Lori Brotherton and Marissa Phillips. After the Marissa Phillips initial tour, I had some heated words with a lot of people, including Russ and including someone who was no longer part of Kate Silvis, about ethics and what I was and wasn't going to do, and things like how things should be conducted. And the first thing is we ain't giving nobody a beat down. That's not what we do.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to add that there is a piece of the puzzle there.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Interesting.
Just bear with me 1 minute. In fact, I tell you what, Silva, I tell you what, why don't you just jump in with more of your part in all this story? Why don't you take this time to tell us about your section in all this? Okay.
Well, we had been kicking around the idea of doing the original idea was like an extreme escape room type deal where it was a hybrid of a haunted house and an escape room, but way up in the amp from a traditional haunted house, really turning up, the intensity from a traditional haunted house. And myself and my cousin Gary are at Transworld, which is a huge trade show convention for the traditional haunted house business, for pumpkin patches, hay rides, escape rooms, all that stuff is what Transworld is.
I'm so glad you cleared that up, because I swear to God, throughout this whole thing, all of us have been like, what the fuck is Transworld? Like, is Russ like is he like an aspiring transgender? Is this a massive trans festival? No. So for those,
it is a trade show for the Halloween entertainment industry and for a lot of stuff.
For those of you in my community along with me,
anyway,
to ask, I'm glad you cleared that up for us. So thank you. Let's move along with that.
Gary recognized Russ.
Okay.
And so we talked to him. And he said he was looking to move from San Diego to somewhere else. He didn't specify where, why, anything, and he wanted somewhere where he can do his thing. And we suggested, rural Tennessee, the land is cheap, and you can get a lot of it, and people generally will respect your privacy. Next thing I know, and the dude didn't sit right with me at all. And this was a 10-minute conversation, maybe. But next thing I know, 2-3 months pass. It's probably May, maybe June. That I'm getting a phone call saying Russ McCamey has moved to Tennessee and he needs help unloading McCamey Manor out of some trucks. I lived right down the road from there. So I'm like, yeah, well, I'll come out and help you guys. And that's where I met Holly the first time. And there was 2-3 carloads of us. All came out. It was a bunch of junk. Like, we know what haunted house props are, and that's not what we unloaded. It was just looked like shit from a junkyard. The only thing I saw that was even remotely interesting in there was a Antari fog machine that he said was busted. I mean, that was it.
Would you guys agree with that? Would you say that there's a definite lacking of haunt factor within a McCamey Manor, and it's more of a torture and abuse factor?
Well, as far as that, Holly was there that day. If there's anything she wants to add to it,
besides like moving, it was so. The thing about Russ, he was accusing Carol for stealing everything. That's not true. No, Carol left him his stuff. He didn't have a lot. All he had was the animatronics, the rat cage, the refrigerator, which he drowns and waterboards people in, the ball pit. It was a circular cylinder. It's you see that carnivals where you throw like fake daggers or at people. Yeah, he has that. The mouse traps, the kitchen set that it's in the barn. Last time that was the last place that he had moved it. We moved it all into this big red barn, and everything came in one truck, one truck, and the rat cage sat in the middle of where 2 storage units are, and right next to it is a barn.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just letting you elaborate on anything I might have left out.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Well, I think I sent you a video, Ron, of actually me showing up to the day of the yard sale. So,
shit.
And it wasn't very much of it. So I believe Holly and Russ were behind the door when I showed up. But I believe I sent you the video of it, Ron, of the actual yard sale that I showed up, and there wasn't very much in there. And that was like literally a day after me. No, probably like 4 days after Carol had left.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to circle back to Anthony just now. If you can grab, when you're talking, if you can lift your little mic on your headphones up a little bit.
Sure, not a problem.
That would be great. That'd be great. And Christina, I've just dropped you out. You're still in the chat. You're just down in the little bar down there, and I've just swapped you in for Trent. And I'm just going to circle back to Anthony, and he can continue on with his part in this.
Okay. After that, we get the word that Marissa Phillips is going to come for a McCamey Manor tour. Now, our part in this was we were Kata Silvis, and it was going to be a joint show. McCamey Manor presents Kata Silvis. So we sat and planned it out. It was our location, and not McCamey's. It was ours. And we sat down and basically storyboarded everything that was going to happen to her that day. And there was some things that somebody who was no longer a part of Kata Silvis, partially because of that day, but there's more to it than that, had wanted to do some things like shave her head and do some other things to her. And I was like, no, that's not necessary. Why the fuck are we doing that? We don't need to do it. But anyway, we had created a system where we would tag each other out, and each person would have a time to scare the shit out of her. So we storyboarded all that out, and if nothing ever goes always as planned 100%, and that's just to be expected. But we get her that day, and it's on. and they had her for it at our location. We had done a pickup. I wasn't at the pickup, but they picked her up from a hotel room, bagged her head, stuck her in a car, took her to the location. She didn't know where she was at. And some of the other members took their turns with her, razzing her, doing things to terrify her. And then I came in. We've released that video of my first interaction with her. She looked like a drowned rat. She was tied up and about 6 inches off the floor. Holly was there. And we did our thing with her. I made sure what I did at least was safe, and as well as a lot of the other people. We created an illusion where we were going, where I think I was pretty good at convincing her I was going to set her on fire. But that was part of the show. It was safe from all the way from top down. I did not know that beforehand, because I wasn't in the room, and it was a pretty big space with a bunch of little rooms. And that this former Silvis person pepper sprayed her. I didn't know that until months later, and I was fucking pissed that you had to pepper spray a little girl. But on the bright side of that, Russ did catch a face full of that pepper spray too. I didn't know that had happened at the time. And when I found out, I was fucking livid. But her tour was, now I was given, what I was told is that she would go until she decided to call it quits, to tap out. And shortly thereafter, my time with her, she tapped out. We did some things that were safe, but absolutely terrifying. And well, all of a sudden, wait a minute, she wants to go again. And apparently, to my understanding, and since then I've seen the video, Russ had given her a waiver that she signed 3 times to come to where she tap out and then go again, and then tap out and go again, rinse, repeat. Well, Russ talked her come to end to continuing the show. And a bunch of more shit was done, a lot of crazy shit, and her head was shaved. I did not like that idea. Most of us didn't like the idea. We were told that she signed off on it and knew it was going to happen. Come to find out that wasn't true. I was fucking livid about that shit. But anyway, then the end of it saw her 5 hours later. She had already tapped twice. I come in the back I knew it was planned to put how
do you tap
a
twice?
barrel full of really stinky stuff.
I mean, when you say she tapped twice, do you mean they started, she tapped out, and then she decided to go back in to the in?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Having seen the video and knowing what really happened, she was highly coerced and threatened. I did not know that was happening at the time. We were not in the room when that happened. Anyway, I come into a room and she's in a barrel of ice water and a bunch of stinky stuff, and used cooking grease. And I see this, and I grabbed this former Silvis by the back of the shirt and yanked him out of the room. And I told her, "You get her out of that right now, or else I'm calling it, and I will blow this whole fucking thing out of the water." Because her lips were fucking turning blue, and Russ was in there interrogating her about some dumb shit, basically trying to make her look bad. I didn't know exactly what was going on at the time, and I didn't know for the longest time until I actually got my hands on the actual unedited footage. And even thinking about it makes my fucking blood boil. And for those who say that Marissa's tour was staged, I don't know what the fuck happened in California, but I do know what happened in Tennessee. And that girl went through hell. And I have remained in contact with her. Do
you think people are saying it's staged because they don't fully understand what would happen if you were sat in a freaking barrel of ice cold water, and because it was maybe one thing for prolonged time, they're like, "Oh, she got it easy." But listen,
no. By then, her head had been shaved. She'd been drug all over the place. She had eaten worms. She thought I was going to set her on fire.
Yeah, you can't fake shaving hair or eating worms. I mean,
right. The worms were real. but it's worms. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you. Plenty of people eat worms for a stunt. You pay me enough, I'll eat worms.
Yeah, sure.
It was all supposed to be safe and nothing to cause any permanent harm to anybody. And in hindsight, and having seen the footage, it was a year later before I actually got a hold of the footage of that day of what really happened when we weren't in the room. Pissed me off. And but after that, her show, Russ really needed people to do the actual McCamey Manor. And the first one to sign up is my cousin Rhett got talked into it.
Okay.
Rhett wouldn't tap out. So Russ drug him behind his truck through gravel while he was wearing nothing but a tank top to cover his chest. And he wound up in the hospital.
Damn. So it's quit or die, really. That's basically what we're talking about.
Okay. That was not okay. At this point, but I also saw the other end of it as in, like, Rhett knew what he was getting into. He signed that waiver because they asked me to do it. And I said, I'm not fucking retarded. And, and beating somebody up or hurting them is not entertainment. That's not what I signed up to be a part of. My cousin Gary also took the tour. His drunk ass quit because he split his pants and had to piss. And was just sick of the bullshit. And he came right to the bar I was working at right after and sat with me and had a beer. He's like, I'm fine. I just had to piss and I was sick of his bullshit.
I mean, it sounds like that. It doesn't sound like a haunted house to me.
It's not.
I mean, if you were to sell it as mock torture and abduction,
Russ's torture palace.
Russ's torture palace.
Here's one big distinction. I work in the haunted house business, as does the rest of the family.
Yeah.
McCamey Manor is not a haunted house, and I'm not going to tell you Silvis is a haunted house. It is not. It's for people that want to take it to the next level of terror.
You sold it. How did you put it? Why did you put it when we met? You put
an extreme terror experience.
An extreme terror experience. See, that sounds a little bit more grown up than haunted house.
Yeah, it's not a haunted house. I work in a real haunted house that, it's open Halloween season and it's fun for the whole family. And we hope you come out of there laughing because we made you jump.
Yeah.
That's it.
No trips to the hospital or teeth getting out, or what about live cockroaches in the mouth? Any of that? No.
Now that not in a traditional haunted house, no. But I'm not going to tell you we won't do that at Silvis.
Oh shit!
But then again, it's not going to hurt you.
Hey, listen. I've never done this. If I was in Tennessee right now, the end of this would be me going on a tour through all of these, and you all pissing yourself laughing at me running like a just. They'd have me in pigtails running away. That's what would happen.
Well, with Silvis, we kind of set the tone right away. We pick you up from a hotel room of your choosing. We throw you in a coffin and put you in the back of my hearse.
How about this? I'm on the Silvis YouTube page just now, right?
Yep.
If I'm on your videos, okay, thank God, it's not like a mess of videos like my page. So, which one of these? There's a couple of. There's one that's called Brandon Goes in the Woods at Silvis, 3 minutes 42.
Right. And that's basically, that is actual footage from a tour.
Right. Well, listen, let's just take this moment just have a little promotion moment here, right? Because I just quite like rubbing Russ. I just keep calling him Ross. I'm just going to call you Ross until you come on the fucking show, Russ. Sorry, pal. Okay, that's where we're at now. I've been awake too long. Right. Share screen. Share the video. There we go. Ron knows what he's doing. Here we go. And if we go into here, okay, so we've got a trailer here and we've got some real footage. So we'll watch the trailer and then we'll watch the real footage.
Okay, the trailer is full of real footage. Awesome. That is actually all footage from a tour.
Okay.
And with a little promo sizzle mixed in with it. But
That's
that
awesome.
girl on the receiving end of the show in that trailer is absolutely, she did the tour. And she actually did the complete tour.
Well, I
She
just
did
want
the
to
whole
say
thing.
to everyone in the side chat, if I'm ever in America, right? Like, obviously, if I'm in America, I'm going to touch base with all of these tours and as many of the people from this series as I can. It'll happen one day. One day we'll get there. Once we're at that level. But listen, let's enjoy this.
Ron, I'm being told that Russ's daughter's in the chat.
Okay.
I'll confirm with you in a second.
Big shout out to Russ's daughter. LMK is on. Did anyone see her? Russ's daughter. How you go? The truth about my dad. Things aren't being discussed. Listen, I tell you what, LMK. If I can give you an entire evening. Like, I'm 100% wanting to put as many sides of this as I can. I'm happy to have any family members, Russ, anyone. So if you want to come on and have your say, I have no issues with that at all. Matt is on the chat just now. Look at his little face. Look at that. You can't. That's a trustworthy face. If you're happy touching base with Cap, we can set a whole bunch of stuff up. My brother and both haven't seen her dad in 10 years. Well, that's super sad. I'm sorry that's how everything worked out for you guys. And I don't want anything personal or anyone to comment on any of Russ's kids or the part of Russ's life where they were included. This is not about any of that. I emailed you. Okay, well, that's probably why you've not heard back from me, because today has been one of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this trailer and check my emails, and that's how we'll do that. I probably didn't need to say that out loud, but we'll do that. And I do apologize. We're going to be playing the sound of this through a speaker into a directional mic because we just don't have the system set up yet for OBS, but we're getting there. Going to check my emails, going to hit play, and we're doing that. We're doing this. We're putting the volume up for a fucking start. Can't have a freaking haunt ad this quiet. There we go. I'll adjust the volume here. Make it full screen for when it's a video, so everyone's like, fucking hell, this is some scary shit.
He's changed the bind up this more for us. So easy to do. Put your hands down and look at me! Family cannot wait to meet you. Give me a good lick, child. You come hang with us? It's only a short drop and then a sudden stop. You said keep drinking!
You messed up my shots!
Option 1, 2, 4, 3. Let's go.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Bandwidth issues.
Let's hurry.
That looks fucking terrifying. I would literally shit in my pants. You would, like, literally. We need to watch more of this. Hang on a minute. You're all fucking crazy. You guys all do this for fun and shit.
That's not over.
You guys are fucking crazy. You think I'm going to go to Tennessee and do this shit? Oh my God. Okay. 100,000 subscribers. We're going to Tennessee and doing this. 100,000 subscribers. We do the play button unveiling in Anthony Silva's fucking horror house. You break the play button though, Anthony, and I get to keep your haunted house. Your extreme horror experience. That's the deal. You don't get to break the play button. Okay, one more video. I forgot to check my emails. I was too sucked into that. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. We need one more. Oh, Brendan, why did you go into the woods, mate? Brandon, why? Oh, Brandon, mate. Oh, fuck. It's a tree, Brandon!
And that's really all you're going to see with this video is we did this to show that he's wearing a helmet cam.
Yeah, totally.
And when we do these shows, we film them with GoPros from multiple angles and then give you the footage unedited at the end of it.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
At this point, he was blindfolded walking through the woods. And at the end of the show, we give him all that footage so he can go back and see what actually went down.
Yeah. Oh no, it's so all his friends can laugh at him. It's not so he can watch. It's so his friends and it's so the people that are closest to him can laugh at him. There's no here, have it so you can see what happened. It's here, make sure people can really fucking see how scared you were.
But we give it to everybody who does it, so
of course.
You know, they know what happened to them in full.
I just want to say as well that that's exactly what you would expect from you know, if I went to fucking Disneyland and went on that big fucking water slide, they would sell me a picture at the, you know, it's what you want. You want that. If I skydive, I want the footage. If I bungee jump.
I think I'd be more likely to go now after you saying that, because before I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't going. But now that you say that, I'd be more likely to go knowing that I know what's going to happen to me.
Yeah, we will give you every scrap of footage from every camera. You know, we ask you give us a day to load it onto a jump drive for you.
But the fact that you're willing to do that,
oh yeah,
that's the biggest thing. And
it's 100% unedited. You get to see everything, and some of the Jedi mind tricks that we do to you, we actually explain to you how we did it.
Oh, that's
how
awesome.
We got you to believe something how we got you to believe something to be true that actually wasn't true.
See, that's awesome, and that's
that way we don't go you don't go away thinking that we actually drugged you or that we actually did something that was going to hurt you. You know, you see it from a different perspective and see what was really going on, and we sit and explain to you and show you, hey, this is how we did that. Now, we don't do that for the general public because we want it to be a surprise for the next person.
Oh my fucking God. Right, Matt. Right, give me a minute. Just give me a minute, right? Yeah, okay, wow. All right, I did get an email, and I do need to stop screen sharing. Have we stopped screen sharing?
Yes, we did.
Okay, right, okay. All right, so yeah, I have had an email. I need to go and reply to this email. So what I'm going to do is, Anthony, have you got anything else you want to touch on in your experience before we move on to anybody else? Or you got anything else you want to say? Feel also as well, my offer stands to everyone involved in this when it comes to doing the videos. I know this is the big part for you guys to get the information out, but turning this all into something people can sit down and really suck in all the key points in a much more formatted and entertaining way. If you want to come back for all that, you're more than welcome to. I just want you to know, don't worry that if we don't have time to cover everything, you know, it's not, you're not going to get forgotten about. But if you've got anything else you want to cover, just feel free to just pop it in just now. Just pop it in, not a problem, mate.
Well, I'll give you my parting words, and then let more important people who have more stories to tell, let them have their time.
I do have a question for Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony, hello. Yes.
Hey, Holly.
Hi. And my question was regarding, see, I was unaware of what Russ was doing, but it was a video from Christian Elliott, and he said that Russ was talking to you, because I remember we were playing Frisbee golf in the park.
Yes.
Do you remember that day? Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the day that Russ took you aside and he wanted me to get it into the stripping business?
Yes.
Okay. See, I had no idea that he was trying to I don't know what is the correct term for that? Like,
he was trying to put you on hold.
Yeah, he was trying. There you go. And see, I didn't know he was doing that. So this is new to me. You know, it's just, so can you please elaborate more on that, please?
Okay, well, I don't remember a lot of the details on the conversation. That was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
But that day you had come out and was playing disc golf at the park.
Yes, I remember.
Russ pulled me to the side as we were walking along, and you were probably a few hundred yards away from us. And he asked me about getting you into it. I'm like, dude, wow, that is not something that you have a say in. Is more or less the way I put it. Is, you know, that's something, if she wanted to get into that, you know, I work in that business. But that's a decision you have to make.
Yeah,
That is not
and
a decision for anyone else to make.
right. And I just wanted to show you how much control he had over me. So he owned my body. Russ McCamey owned my body. If he wanted to pimp it out, then to whomever, yeah, that's how. Thank you, Anthony, for validating that. That I just wanted to let everyone know how much control that my tormentor had over me. He owned me. If he wanted to put me on the pole, then I didn't have a say in it, because this is new to me. This is, you know, this is new to me. But thank you for validating that. I just wanted to let everyone know how much control Russ had over me.
Well, I do want to elaborate on a few other things involving you. One, I wish we had really known what was going on, because I don't live that far away. And I didn't care what time of the day was. You could have rang me up and I would have come and got you out of that house. Because that's not, we don't play like that. And the other thing,
if I had a phone, Russ had the phone. My phone had no Wi-Fi. I mean, not Wi-Fi, but not connection at the time that we went.
Right. And I'm sure you probably had no idea what to think of us, because when we were around, we kind of amped it up to 11. We amped up the creep factor because that's what we're supposed to do, because we're supposed to be big, scary guys.
Yeah.
We're also real people that don't condone any of that shit. But the other thing is, on your last, on one of your video interviews or the audio, you had talked about being forced into the drowning tank and the head cage thing.
Yes.
I have the video of that.
Thank you. Thank you. If you can,
I will release it with your permission.
Yes. Can you release it to Ron? Ron, if you're there, can you?
Ron's always here. It's okay.
Okay. Hi, Ron.
Yeah.
There's Ron.
I have that video to validate what you're saying.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know you're aware of the hard drive that floated around.
Yes, yes. And that was Russ. It had gotten into an ex actor. I don't know who had gotten it, because he just said that someone was exploiting me, and I never got the right names. Like I just knew that there's a sex tape of me being exploited around, and someone was selling it. But if you could, I don't know, elaborate, or because I'm totally in the dark at this stuff. If you don't mind, I appreciate that. So this is all new to me, so that I'm trying to process.
We were trying to chase down the footage from the Marissa show, as well as the other shows done under the McCamey Manor Presents Kate Silvis banner, which would have been Jeffrey the Cricket Eater. It would have been several people.
Right.
But Russ wouldn't give us our footage that we had agreed that we would receive that after it was done.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah, he wouldn't.
Eventually, that ex-admin or whatever that he had sent his broken hard drive to reached out to me and says, "I've got your footage."
Okay.
And I said, "Okay, you know, what will it take to get that?" And I said, "I'm not interested." He told me he had Russ's personal hard drive. And I said, "Listen, I'm not interested in anything that doesn't involve Kate Silvis." Well, he sent me the whole damn thing. And I know what was on it. All of the stuff from you that doesn't require or that would require an adult model release, my copy has been destroyed. It was destroyed immediately.
Okay.
We didn't need to see that. We didn't ask for it. We didn't want it. I know other people got copies of that hard drive. I'm not exactly sure who they were, but I know that other copies of it got out. It did not come from us.
Okay.
But I saw it. But I do have the footage of you being put through the manor, and it looked pretty damn unwillingly.
Okay. Yes. If any of that information or that sex tape or my body's being exploited, can you give it over to Ron and his team?
Right.
I appreciate that.
All of the, shall I say, adult content of you that I had was immediately deleted.
Okay. Thank you.
That's not something that, listen, I come from the strip club and adult entertainment background. I see people that get exploited. That's not what we're in the business of doing. I also know the laws that come around that. And that's not something we want anything part of. So when I received a copy of it, that was immediately destroyed.
All right. Thank you.
But everything else is still intact. I don't have it with me today, but I do know who has it.
Okay.
And we can get that footage out with your permission.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Anthony. I greatly appreciate that. Helps me with my case I have up against about the ongoing case that's up against Rusty Keeney. So I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Anthony, what I'll do is I'll send you a couple of links that are encrypted file sharing networks, that are genuine encrypted file sharing networks. So when it comes to sharing files, as soon as you hit send, it's completely encrypted between you and me. It decrypts my end, and it's just super safe for anyone that might think that they're smarter than us.
Okay. On that being said, my battery on my phone is about to run out.
No problem.
And I want to give the floor to people who can say a lot more important things than I can.
No problem. Well, thank you for joining us, Anthony, and we will continue to play your videos. And we'll definitely.
I appreciate that.
Well, I think
at the end of the day, we weren't the real victims here. There were some serious victims here.
Yeah, I understand. And we're actually starting a new series at some point between now and the end of the year, where we're looking at alternative businesses, alternative sort of lifestyles, and big tattooed extreme horror families definitely fall into alternative kind of business. So I would love for you to come back and really just go more in depth about what you do, the family, get them on, and really just push and showcase everything as a whole, because I think a lot of people who don't know about extreme horror experiences would love to just get a bit of behind the scenes, and just if you'd be up for that, we'd love to do that.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. And in closing, I just want to tell Holly or anybody else, if you need somebody to talk to or reach out to, we're here. Awesome. We're good at keeping our mouth shut and our ears open, and we get it. We know what you went through. We're sorry it happened. And in a lot of ways, we feel like we failed you because we were in a position we probably could have done something. But in that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go and let other people take the floor with more important shit to say than I got to.
No problem. Well, we're gonna get Trent on. We're gonna try and get Amy back. Thank you, Trent, for waiting on us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
All right. Well, you guys have a good night. I'll watch from my desktop.
No problem, brother. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Yeah, Trent, thank you so much for waiting, mate. And it's just one of these show formats where it's a big rotating fest, not fetish, Ron. Okay, so that's the whole other live series. So yeah, Trent, just get stuck in. Tell us the meat behind who you are and how your story fits in with this. I'm just going to jump onto Facebook while you're doing that, just to make sure Amy's okay. And yeah, please do just continue this saga. If you can, move closer to your mic, speak up, and take the floor, sir.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Right on, right on.
Right on.
I'm Trent McConnell. I'm a local here to in the manor. It's about 20 minutes from my house. I guess I kind of became whatever.
Wow,
it's cutting out.
Yeah, Trent, we're losing you big time, brother. You are going robotic man on us, dude. I'm really sorry. If you can try moving somewhere else for a stronger connection. But listen, if you do keep lagging out, don't worry, because there's another way for us to get your story across if this doesn't work, just in case you start super duper lagging. Let's just look at that. What a fucking freeze frame right there. That is a glorious thing. We've all had those moments. So I know Holly's managed to get back in. Trent, I think you're back with us. Welcome. Yeah, Trent, you were dropping in and out. Your microphone was dropping in and out.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that's a bit better, brother. Yeah, thank you. We'll let you know if anything else happens. We'll let you know.
I had my I was charging my phone, and sometimes if I got it on the charger, it doesn't, anyway. So if y'all hear me, I'll go on.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's any
All
more,
right, got to meet Russ whenever he first moved up here from San Diego, right? And I was kind of a local here and started watching the feeds, man, several months, man, a year or so before, and just kind of got into it and whatnot. And then the more we watched it, I mean, we were watching live feeds on every Saturday just to kind of watch the funny bullshit that went on in the front yard, whatnot, and started commenting on some of his live feeds. And then he had that run Russ out of town bake sale sign back in the day when he first moved here. People didn't want him here, and my 9-year-old daughter was like, "Hey, let's make Russ a new sign." So we made Russ a new run Russ out of run Russ out of town bake sale sign, and we took it up there to him one day, and he put us on live, me and my daughters, and it was a big to do, man, and he just loved the sign, and everything was kind of going good and whatnot, and we became friends, man. We just kind of hit it off pretty good. At that time, I was still pretty snowballed by the bullshit of all of it, and it was interesting, to me. And I like horror movies. I've always been into haunted house. I love that stuff. So anyway, we got to be friends with him. We got to hanging out with him. Had him over to my house a few times. Cooked dinner for him. I was up there for 4 or 5 shows or tours, I guess you would say. I helped him with the camera work and whatnot. During the contract signing, I was there, I think, for Dan Hubbard, Lala. There was a couple of Josh Norris, a couple other guys. It was about 3 or 4 weeks or so we did this, and what we gradually got to be more friends. I became a moderator on the page. Everything was going real well. Basically, in a nutshell, this went on for a few months. We went to see a movie together up in Spring Hill, up around Nashville one day. Overlord. We went to see that, and I felt sorry for Russ, man. I mean, in a way, because he was what he was doing seemed pretty cool. Everybody was interested in it. But when he first came here to Tennessee, a lot of the things that we were seeing here were obviously things from San Diego, and it was a confusing thing for us here local to wonder what's going on in Summertown. You know what I mean? Nobody knew what was going on in Summertown. All I was hearing from people I know here is there screams up there. There's some guy doing up there this unbeatable haunted house. He's torturing people, pulling teeth, and it's like an extreme tour, all hands on. I'm like, what? So, obviously it was pretty interesting, but it just we began, like I said, I worked in the moderator on the page. I helped him. I took care of the dogs while he was supposedly going out to San Diego to see Holly, when apparently that wasn't the case. But I watched Baby here and took care of the dogs. Me and Greg and Becky Shima did for about a week. And like I said, everything continued to go pretty well. They gave him a bed. They felt sorry for him because he was sleeping in a trailer that was pretty much filthy, flea infested. And it was just, God, it was horrible. It was almost like a dog kennel that he lived in.
yeah.
It was pretty nasty, man. Really, it was really, it's not sanitary at all. I mean, it's really, really bad. And, well, we continued on through our friendship, and I helped him. I helped him do a few things. I helped him in a lot of different ways, man. I had him over to eat. Like I said, once again, I felt sorry for him because I felt he was cool at the time, and I felt bad because of the locals were hating on him and stuff. And, you know, I thought, hey, man, give the guy a chance and whatnot. Well, so that's what I did. And then we had a big falling out on Thanksgiving because I invited him down for a Thanksgiving dinner with my family. And then we got to talking a little bit about stuff. You know, he knew my situation. I was a single dad and had been for a year and a half or so. My ex-wife had some drug abuse problems, and I ended up taking my children from her. And, you know, I didn't want him around all that. And he knew all that, man. He knew that whole past. And anyway, there was some discussion about my ex-wife who had been she had some sexual abuse in a young age, right? And I talked to Russ about it one day, and he asked me, what did I do to help her? And I said, well, you know, I did everything that I could. I mean, I you know, I took her to counseling. I tried to haul her in one day. You know, she was not clearly ready to talk about it, you know, in 8 years. And she held all these inner demons in her body about what happened to her at a young age. And she didn't want to talk about it. She was very aggressive. She had a lot of just problems that spurred from it. And I don't think that I think that it was basically because she had never really dealt with it, and she was carrying it, and you know, it caused a lot of problems in our relationship, and it ended up in a divorce. And Russ just basically, when I told him this story, you know, he just pretty much just flew all over me and accused me of not doing enough for her. Wouldn't even really give me a chance to explain what I did for her. Years of trying to get her some help, you know, I mean, but you can't push somebody into talking about stuff like that. You know, it's got to be when they're ready to do it. And whenever he just thought that I should have just, I guess, like grabbed her and drug her into a mental hospital. And, you know, I did everything I could, man. I wanted to, you know, I wanted my family to be together. I wanted to help her. You know, but
oh, you're frozen again, dude. Yeah, we'll see if we can get Trent back. I don't know if Holly, have you got anything you want to add just as until we wait for Trent to come back? Is there anything you want to put in on any of this?
Yeah, I have my notes with going back to Russ McCamey Land, McCamey Manor. I call it Lie Land. Traveling back to Lie Land, and what I want to touch base here is when you're in a very toxic relationship, what happens is, in my experience, your prefrontal cortex, right here, the part of your brain, when you're in a very insidious, toxic relationship, what the prefrontal, for those of you who don't know, for the prefrontal cortex, do you know what the functions are, Ron? Or
yeah, Ron, who's had a decent night's sleep, could probably explain it to you.
Okay.
Ron just wanting to make sure he doesn't sound like a buffoon. So I'm just going to say you're the expert on this. I'm just going to let you go.
All right. Well, for that, the prefrontal cortex is implicated in planning. So all your planning, decision making, all your cognitive behavior, personality expression, moderating social behavior, that all happens in the prefrontal cortex of the human brain. Okay. Now, what's very interesting, and this is from my experience, when I was in that toxic relationship with my tormentor, I've experienced dissociative disorder, meaning when you're dissociative, you're not aware. You feel like you're watching a movie, but you're not participating in the movie. You're not participating in life. You're in a vehicle, but you're in the back seat. You're not your life is the vehicle, but you're not the driver's seat of your vehicle. You're in the back seat. That's what dissociative disorder. That's what it's like. It's a gross simplification of it. That's I've experienced because of when you're in a very toxic relationship, you can actually have permanent brain damage to the prefrontal cortex of your mind. That's very serious now, because if the longer you're in a very abusive relationship, the more it's difficult to heal from that, from being dissociative disorder, from brain fogs, memory lags. You just don't know where you are, your surroundings. You're just lost. Just when I was at the manor, and after I left Tennessee, I was in that fog, that brain fog, this lost, very confusing state. I didn't know who I was. I mean, I was in survival mode for so long, and that's what happens when you're in if any kind of abusive relationship. Your brain's going to switch on to survive. Your brain wants to survive. It's going to kick on to survive. But once you're away from that relationship, it's hard to shut off that survival mode. And then comes the onset of the CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not the same as PTSD. They're both very serious conditions, but complex post-traumatic stress disorder has to deal with the permanent brain damage to the prefrontal cortex that was caused by a very abusive being. And this is where I vouch for brainwashing. This is where brainwashing comes from. You can actually permanently damage a person's brain, which I believe Russ McKinney has done to me, caused so much damage by being so insidious, bewildering, bullying, abusive. It has caused the damage of dissociative disorder, and to heal from that, it does take time. It does take time. I had to go back and write down, like with my notes of the abuse, and then I had to go and kind of ask myself, okay, what happened? Because I was in such a total state of just shock. It was just like, I don't know how to explain it. Just like, there's soldiers that go to war and then they come back. That's PTSD, but for a toxic relationship, it's CPTSD. So I just want to show you that brainwashing is real. What he's done to me, the brainwash damage, it did cause damage. I'm not permanent because I'm healing. I'm healing from the damage that he had caused during my stay here. My stay with him.
Question from April there. How long were you with Russ?
About I want to say 3 years. I was originally going to go to McCaney Manor in San Diego.
Yeah.
Back in 2016, and then I pulled away. I did not. I got scared and I left it at that. But then he started to lure me in by and Carol has touched base about that, because he would flirt with many women upon women, Skyping them, flirting with them, luring them in, love bombing them. Hey, I'm going to make you a model, the whole Hollywood spiel. He wanted me to kind of save him from, I guess he wanted me to come over to San Diego to kind of save him from Carol, which, he told me this, and that's why I call it lie land with and when you talk to Carol, will talk to you about this. And at the time, what got me onto McCaney Manor with my background, I was starting to get into the BDSM community. So I was interested in BDSM, and I thought, okay, that's, it's kinky, it's fun, that's just, I thought I wasn't fully involved. I was on a website, can't remember the website, but I was opening to wanting to do BDSM. That was a lifestyle, or I just was curious about it. And so me and Russ, we started talking, but Russ didn't want me in it, but he wanted me to bring like dresses that are kind of like latex, like that kind of like the latex material, to bring dresses to model for him. So he wanted me to come over, move in with him in San Diego, cook for him. He wanted me to be his personal trainer. He wanted me to go work at 24 Fitness Gym, which is in PQ, Rancho PQ in San Diego.
Okay.
He wanted me to get him healthy. And then he molded me and wanted me to become his bodybuilder. He's the biggest fan of female bodybuilders. And so
I mean, I listen. No disrespect to any female bodybuilders. No, I'm not saying, but that is an interesting key factor in his long-lasting relationships.
I sent you a message on Discord, by the way, Ron. Kemi's daughter messaged me on Instagram.
Okay, that's fine. What I'm going to do is we're going to be wrapping up this show a little bit early. I want to give Russ's kids the platform.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
Trent's managed to come back in. I know Dan Truelove has got something he's been waiting to say. We're going to be wrapping this up in about 10 minutes, guys.
Okay.
And about 20 minutes after this ends, we'll have a new stream with Russ's kids, give them the platform, and just allow them the, you know, what I feel is the respect of their own time on the stage. So I also want to just point out, I'm just going to keep this whole evening live streams going. If it goes longer than a week, if it goes 10 days, I'm fine with that. I know for a fact there's going to be a lot more people wanting more in-depth from stuff from Holly. We can maybe do it in a video, or we can keep doing it in live streams. I just want you to know this isn't going to end suddenly. We are wanting to keep this going. I've spoken to the community. There's a lot of people who need to be heard, and certainly a lot of people like Carol and like Holly and of course Russ's kids that should have a lot more time to just get everything out. And I think it's a good thing to do that. So I'm going to just quickly cut back to Trent because there's a good possibility that Trent's full story may need to come out in a video or through some voice files over Facebook, just because of his connection. But that's just the way it goes. I don't even know if Trent, I think he's frozen again. Okay, that's fine. I'll contact Trent on Facebook. Right, Dan, finally, True Love. He's just like, is it me? Is it happening? It's happening.
Oh, Dan, is it me? Am I on this thing?
Yeah, you're on. Brother.
Oh my gosh.
We've literally got about 5 minutes.
Ron, hi. Holly, hi. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk for just a second, because we had a big revelation tonight with Russ coming out on his personal closed group. Yeah. Talking about he's basically being exposed. He's getting exposed to the fullest extent, and gosh.
And that was on the live stream. That was on the live stream that people were those two pictures were in reference to that we showed earlier, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and I have a burner account. I'm not gonna lie. I have a burner account. I'm a part of the closed group. I'm not gonna expose my burner account by any stretch or any means. But this is absolutely astounding that he is basically. I think what we've been doing the last 3 days or 4 days, has been really putting a lot of pressure on the wrestling.
I agree. I think all of this is adding fuel to the fire, and I think everyone that's been involved, obviously, and I just want to make this clear again, right? I have done very little in all of this, okay? Everyone on the Facebook pages, everyone who's come forward, Holly, Carol, Russ's kids, all the pages, there's one right there, McKinney Manor Talk, all these people who've done this for years. The credit all goes to you. I just want you to know that. I said this last night, that it's really all about McKinney Manor Talk, the Facebook page. You are the guys who've done all this. I'm just giving you a place to present everything. So credit goes to all of you guys for the strength and the foresight to have done all this. So absolutely. But listen, Dan, I'm sorry to sort of cut you off. I need to give Russ's kids a platform.
No, I just say hi to everybody, and I'm happy like everything that's going on right now. I truly feel like we're making a movement, and I feel like that everything's really getting heard right now. So
yeah, I agree. And those asking about Amy's phone died. She's coming back as well. We're going to make sure Trent gets out that he needs. And I'm now going to go and set up the next stream. And those of you who understand how massive this next stream is going to be when we're talking to Russ's kids. So I'm going to go and touch base with them now. I need to obviously speak to them prior to the stream, and that's just how we do things in surviving life. We don't just assume people who they are and throw them on the internet for them to say words that could get us banned on the platform, because you know that's the internet. Am I right, Cap, or am I right? I mean, it's just we do some crazy stuff on this channel, and we just need to stay safe. So 415 people that are currently sitting watching this, can you all go and tell 2 friends and just make sure that we have a positive, strong audience here for Russ's kids? They're very nervous, and we're going to give them the respect they deserve. The admin team are going to be out in force. Anyone dicking around in the side chat, you will be probably expelled forever from this wonderful land.
I even have my eye on the side chat, so
yeah, I'm just saying.
Cap.
Now,
Can I say something to Cap real quick?
Yeah.
I'm wearing my USA shirt because you're always wearing your damn Canadian shirt. So
yeah, they're playing tonight.
USA all the way, baby. I'm sorry, Canada, but I love you guys.
It's all good. It's all good. So listen, thank you, Dan, for joining us. And Holly, I just want to give you a chance just to say your goodbyes. Obviously,
yes,
we're going to be everyone that wants more Holly and things like this. Once we've got through all of this, we're definitely going to be hopefully working more with Holly. I know she's integrated quite nicely in with everybody, so we are excited to have you and to
thank you for having me.
Just witness your rebirth, I think, is probably the best way of putting it, because even just in a day, you're looking like a new woman. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Spartan up, baby. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Right. Okay. Russ's kids live stream coming next. I've got a thumbnail to make. I've got a stream to post. Cap's got to go and do something that I've not told him yet. And then we're coming back. Go and tell frickin' everyone about what's about to happen. And tell him you can only see it here on Surviving Life when Ron finds the button. That would have been a good bit to end on, right? But Ron didn't have the button ready. And no one cares, Ron. We want the next stream. I know. We're going. It's happening. It's happening now. Smiling.